MrBeast, one of the largest YouTubers globally, has 18 plus active YouTube channels. T-Series has 100 plus YouTube channels. And education companies like Unacademy, Physicswala, or Khan Academy have hundreds of active YouTube channels. As a consumer, have you ever wondered as to what could be the reason as to why these brands are investing so much of money into creating so many channels? In this video, we are going to discuss exactly that. Hi everyone, my name is Shashank, and in this video, we'll discuss the art and science of having multiple YouTube channels. And to understand this, we'll take multiple examples across industries, from news to entertainment to podcasting. So if you're interested, watch this video till the very end. Now, this trend of having multiple channels is not new and unique to YouTube. If we go back, we will notice that multiple media houses like the Z Network, the Sony Network, or Disney Network have multiple channels. All of this boils down to just one thing: keeping the audience happy. If the audience is happy, they will consume more of your content, which can result in more ads being shown. And if more ads are being shown, then YouTube makes more money. If YouTube makes more money, then the creator makes more money. So in this case, everyone wins. The audience because they like the content being shown, YouTube because it is getting more money, and the creator of course because audience loves them and they are making more money. Now let's dive deeper into this audience segmentation. What are the factors which these creators look for before they start diversifying and creating multiple channels? Number one, the topic or the genre of content which the audience is interested in watching. For example, let's take the education industry. Now companies like Unacademy or Physicswala have hundreds of YouTube channels, and these channels are bifurcated on the topics. For example, we have YouTube channels for IIT JEE, NEET, MBA, bank exams, government exams, etc. Or let's take news companies. They have different channels for different topics: sports, politics, stock market, etc. Number two, languages. Now different audiences want to consume content in different languages, right? If I like watching English content and you start showing me Spanish content, the chances of me engaging with your channel goes down. So YouTubers, when they want to cater to a larger audience, they start creating multiple channels. In one of the podcasts with Joe Rogan, MrBeast talked about how English is spoken only by 10 to 12% of the global audience. So if he wants to reach out to more people, he had to create channels in multiple languages like Japanese, Hindi, Portuguese, Spanish, etc. But thanks to this YouTube feature, which was recently launched, creators can now upload different languages on the same channel, similar to how we watch on Netflix and Amazon Prime. But this feature of YouTube dubbing is still relatively new, and a lot of other creators who have created channels in different languages are yet to start using. Number three would be user behavior. Now, as a user, do I like watching podcasts which are 1 hour, 2 hour long, or do I want to watch short clippings which are 5 minutes, 6 minutes, or do I want to consume short content? Now, this particular categorization is not very common across all industries, but podcasters use this effectively. So let's take Joe Rogan, Beer Biceps, Andrew Huberman. All of these podcasters have created different channels. For example, there will be one channel which will have the entire podcast. There will be another channel which will have clippings of these podcasts, and then there'll be a channel which has only short content out of these podcasts. So what happens because of these different channels is the short content pieces is able to get a different kind of audience reach, which in turn becomes a funnel for the larger podcast. So three things: one, the topic and the genre; second, the language; and the third, the user behavior. Now let's take a few examples to understand this bifurcation of the audience in a much more detailed manner. So what I've done is I've taken certain categories like news, entertainment, education, and I've taken certain examples of these industries to see how audience segmentation is done, and hopefully these examples will give you a better idea of how audience segmentation works. Now let's take the first category, which is education, and for this I have two examples. One is 01 Network by Zerodha, and the second is companies like Khan Academy, Unacademy, or Physicswala. Now let's start with the first example, which is the 01 Network by Zerodha. As you can see on the website, they have different kinds of YouTubers enrolled under them: brands, business, entrepreneurship. Then we have finance and markets. Then we have careers and upskilling. Then we have health, fitness, and sports. And then we have climate and sustainability. So far, the 01 Network is benchmarking and creating audience segmentation based on the topics and the genre. For languages, they just have English and Hindi as of now, but I'm very confident that in the coming days, we may start seeing content in different vernacular languages: Telugu, Tamil, Malayalam, Bengali, Bhojpuri, Punjabi, Gujarati, who knows. Now let's take the second example in the education category: Unacademy, Khan Academy, Physicswala. Interesting part: all of these companies started off as YouTube channels, but today are worth billions. Now, if you look at Khan Academy, they have channels for kids, maths, statistics, medicine, English, and tens of other topics. If you look at Unacademy and Physicswala, they have channels for IIT, NEET, MBA, UPSC, government exams, etc. So they're diversifying their channels in the topics and the genres that they represent. In the languages, not so much. Khan Academy has channels in Arabic, Spanish, Portuguese, Hindi, English, etc. But Unacademy and Physicswala do not have so much of content in international languages, but they do have some channels in the vernacular Indian languages where most of their customer bases hang out. Now let's take the second example, which is the entertainment industry, for which I've taken two examples: MrBeast and T-Series. Now T-Series has hundreds of YouTube channels channels and they have diversified aggressively in both the things, the genres and the languages. For example, T series has T series, T series kids, T series bhakti, T series classical, etc., etc. And then they also have channels in Tamil, Bengali, Himachali, Kannada, Bhojpuri, etc. If we take Mr. Beast as an example, earlier Mr. Beast did have multiple channels in different languages: English, Hindi, Japanese, Portuguese, Spanish, French, etc. But now all of this content is being dubbed and posted on his main channel. So even if you open Mr. Beast Hindi, it will redirect you to the main channel. But Mr. Beast also has different channels in different genres like Mr. Beast Philanthropy, Mr. Beast Gaming, Mr. Beast Reacts, etc. So if you look at it, entertainment channels are aggressively diversifying in both genres and languages. Now let's take the third category, which is the news category. For this, I have taken CNN and BBC. If you look at CNBC's channel list, they have many channels, which is diversified into again two types, the genre and the language. For genre, they have business, news, sports, travel, politics, etc. For language, they have Spanish, Portuguese, Bangla, etc. Same goes with BBC. BBC has BBC News, BBC Earth, BBC Learn, BBC Sports, BBC Radio, and then they have diversified on the languages: Persian, Japanese, Hindi, Spanish, etc. Now, this was just a very small example of how I took one category and a few examples in these categories to analyze their reasons for trying to come up with different channels. Now, I believe you can also use this framework to analyze the channels that you like and love. But this entire strategy of diversification does not end here. There is one trump card which is invisible to most consumers out there, which is coming up with unofficial or fan-run channels which are not owned by the brand or the creator, but yet these unofficial channels are creating and pumping content which is used as propaganda. For example, suppose you're a political party and you cannot say certain statements on your official handle. So in this case, what you can do is you can have multiple channels which are run by your fans or volunteers, and then they can create memes attacking the opposition, or they can create content on topics which otherwise are controversial, which you do not want to post on your channel but can be posted on fan channels. Now, there's another industry which is very smartly leveraging these unofficial fan-led channels to build a stronger brand for themselves. Suppose I run a podcast and I know that I have hundreds of podcasts with thousands and thousands of minutes of valuable content. So what I can do is I can get these short clippings. Of course, I will post them on my channel, but what I can also do is I can spread these short clippings across different business channels that are out. So even though I as a podcaster may not be earning money because of the view that is generated, yet it will help me build a stronger brand. So the next time you see a clipping from a podcast which is not posted on the official channel of, say, the Beer Biceps or Raj Shamani or Andrew Huberman or the Joe Rogan, then you can always speculate if this was orchestrated as an amplification mechanism or was it done organically by the fan-led channel. To conclude, when it comes to YouTube, there is a lot of things that are happening that is perhaps invisible to consumers like you and me. But if we look carefully, we will start noticing the reasoning of why all of this is orchestrated and happening. The bottom line is, how do I make my audience happy? Because if my audience is happy, they will consume my content for a longer duration. If the audience consumes my content for a longer duration, then YouTube will be able to show more ads to these people, which ultimately will give more revenue to YouTube. If YouTube is happy, my audience is happy, then I will also be happy. So the ultimate truth of growing on YouTube involves engaging your audience. And in this video, I hope you've understood why do large YouTubers and companies have so many YouTube channels. And I hope you liked and enjoyed the video. If you did watch the video till this very point, take your hand, pat yourself on the back, and I will see you in the next video. And yes, do not forget to like and subscribe.